Hi, happy Monday. I'm Dr. T, clinical psychotherapist, clinical sexologist, and mom. I wanted to kind of talk to you guys this morning about a topic that crossed my mind over the weekend: triggers, trauma. Understand something. When you're going through your healing process, there are going to be people who knew you in your previous versions. You see, we shift versions consistently. As we are doing work, we are not the same version that we were. That's the goal, right? The goal is to be better than we were yesterday and to be prepared for our tomorrow. But you don't know tomorrow's guarantee, so today you maximize who you are in every possible way. But there are some people that are going to just not believe that you are healing in the way that you're healing, and that's because they have not had the same movement. Don't be upset with them. You allow them grace and patience because someone was patient with you. I think what people fail to understand is that as you move through your trauma and you're on your healing journey, it's not the trauma that stays with you forever. It's the experience that stays with you. It is your experience, it's part of your story. And you get to determine whether or not that story is going to control your narrative forever. So when you are speaking with people, they will use what you're using as your experience. The people who knew you in your past will use your experience to trigger your trauma by using someone that they know is tied to said trauma to trigger you. Now, I can't say that that's conscious. I don't think that's conscious. I don't think that most people are walking around understanding the energy that they're moving in. And I think that's because the energy that they're moving in is their own traumatized energy. They can't see past the person that created their pain, so they can't imagine that you can either. So, I want you guys to remember that on this healing path, there are going to be people who try their best to snatch you back down to where you were. But these are experiences. Please do not continuously think that every time you bring up an experience with someone, it is a trigger. You'll know if it's a trigger if you're feeling uneasy, if the anxiety sets in, if the shakes set in, if the anger gets in there. You'll know that you're triggered and you'll know that they've controlled you. You start yelling, you get out of control and stuff like that. That's how you know that it's a trigger. But if you raise your voice, but your heart is steady, you are raising your voice because you will not be disrespected. You are not raising your voice because you lack control. But understand there might be a moment that you did lack control, and that's okay. You're a soul having a human experience. Moving through trauma is difficult because they've taught so many of us that, oh, your trauma is your trauma. It's just going to be with you forever. You can't really do anything about it. You can't change people. You can't do any of that. Of course, you can't change other people, but you can control your energy, how you move in the world. You are an unshakable force. You are an unshakable force. Things are to move through you, not get stuck and stagnated. We're letting emotion get stagnated too often, and that's what's getting in our way. That's what gets in the way of our success. The key to everything is learning, discipline, and focus. They teach all of these people. It seems like everybody has some type of attention issue. Is it an attention issue, or is it that you're not concerned with things that don't interest you in that way? I feel like that's important because most of us aren't paying attention to things that don't interest us. And so sometimes when you're having these conversations with people about your experience, their trauma comes up and they're not really listening. They're not focused. They're not honed into what you're saying because they know you to be trauma. They know you to be in pain. And they're trying to trigger that little bit of pain in you. They say the one thing, they use the one person that they know is going to trigger that pain in you so they can throw you off your course so that they don't have to be responsible and accountable any longer. But please know that that's just a gimmick that's used to minimize you, but to maximize them because they're afraid of healing their own trauma. Because what do we look like without our trauma if we've been taught that our trauma is a part of us? I'm talking about reframing and understanding who you are as a power structure, understanding that your mind is your greatest gift. You are with you more than you're with anyone in the world. But perception matters. Don't just believe that who you believe yourself to be is at the hierarchy of what everyone that knows you believes you to be. What I mean by that is if you see yourself as this being of peace, but everyone you meet knows you as chaos, you are out of alignment. You're out of alignment, which means you are somehow lying to yourself, because who people see you as matters. It matters. Stop walking around and pretending like it does not. It matters. You want your alignment. This is your authenticity. If you lack authenticity, you are going to be in constant chaos, my love. And you don't want that. Please stop allowing people to just walk around telling you what you are, assuming what you are. Listen to what they call you. Listen to what's being said. Don't keep it. Hear it. Hear it so that you can see if you have blind spots. Sometimes we have blind spots. It doesn't mean you have to believe what they're saying, but you should take it under advisement and see if there's something in there that might make a little bit of sense. Because what if that one thing is the key to your healing? What if that one thing is why you haven't received what it is that you've been manifesting? What if that one thing is why you can't find a happy relationship? You can't get a good job. You can't move. You can't function. You can't think. You can't love. Your breathing feels restricted. What if that's the reason? You see, we think that we're doing these things for other people, but what we're actually doing is bringing us back to self. We're learning self-love. That's it. Every lesson, every experience, everything that happens to you is for you. If it is happening to you, it's because you need to get this lesson so that you can get to the other side and get to your glory, get to your joy, get to your peace, your love. Here's your comfort. Here's the wall of discomfort. Most people don't want to get from here to here. And they absolutely don't want to go over that hump of discomfort, because that means that you have to face some truths about yourself. If you are facing the same thing with people over and over again, if you are hitting the same brick walls, it's because you're doing the same thing. Stop doing the same thing. Stop doing the same thing. Pour into yourself. You wake up in the morning, you talk to yourself. Stop focusing on the violence. Stop focusing on the anger. Stop focusing on the bitterness and the resentment. Focus on who you want to be. Everybody is not the problem. They're not. If you are finding that people that you're coming in contact with are problematic, you're problematic. If you are finding that the people that you are attracting and the people that you are speaking with are full of love and compassion and kindness, you are that. We attract what we are. There's no bones about that. It's universal law. It's just how it works. You feel good as what you put out. If you are putting out and spewing anger, meanness, resentment, tightness, if your ego is leading, you're going to feel that your ego is leading. It's Monday. It's Monday, my loves. It's Monday. We are in the fresh start of a work week. There are going to be people and pressures, but not for you. Not for you this week here. This week, you are going to walk in your abundance. You are going to walk in your power, and your power is in your love, in your healing. I would ask that today and for the next 7 days, you pick a time. I like the time 2:22. If you decide to pick 2:22 p.m., it doesn't matter what time zone you're in. You can pick the same one I'm in, which is Eastern Standard Time. But at 2:22 p.m., you sit in your mind, you close your eyes for a second, and you focus only on you. Only on your heart, only on your head, in alignment, okay? Only on your alignment. You focus there. You draw in the energy of love. You draw in the energy of power. People are going to tick you. So what? So what? Let them do what they do. At 2:22 or whatever time you decide, you will be rooted and grounded. Head, heart. Head, heart. You breathe in love. Exhale any drama, any stress, any chaos, but you breathe in love. All right, I'm going to work. Love you guys.